Boy, oh boy. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And I was watching this video here that was done by the elder brother Karataza from Vegas, and I got not too far, but maybe about a little over 20 minutes, Salakia, 2 minutes in, and the spirit just just jumped on me just to say a few words on this. Now, um, as he mentioned in his in the video about he wanted to do a video on it because you already know that once this story gets into the hand of scoffers or vocab and people like that, they're gonna take this and run with it and blow it. I mean, beyond out of proportion. Okay, but the point is, as the title says, what happens when you don't conduct yourself in wisdom? All things are not expedient. Okay, all things are not expedient. And Salakia, this is one of those things that you tell Jake because there's matter of fact. Let me actually hold that precept on deck. All right, there's one aspect about the scriptures that Israelites coming in need to understand. All right, it's not everything that we or that comes to your attention that you need to go and turn it practical. Because matter of fact, let's get the precept where this comes from. All right, there's a reason the Apostle Paul said what he said in this verse. Okay, 1 Corinthians 6:12. Okay, there's a reason why the Apostle Paul said this right here. I'm going to read it real quick, and then I have the article here. All right, I have it here. I'll put it in the chat. It's also here in the description. I also, matter of fact, put the link to this video in the chat as well. All right, you can check it out, and Lord willing, be edified. But yeah, these devils are definitely out here looking, and what you're noticing is there's just an upward trend of these stories, right? That come out, and there's something, something wild or something crazy, and it's tied to the quote unquote Hebrew Israelites. And as we always say, they're not just, you ever wonder why it is, like, for example, FBI be after somebody, right? And this guy gets randomly stopped like at an airport somewhere, and they're like, yo, you're under arrest for such and such and such and such, and the list is just long. And you're wondering how the hell, like, they pulling up things that go back 10 years, 15 years. You know why? Because if they don't get you on one thing, they'll get you on another. If they don't get you on that, they'll get you on another. So they compile a list of everything, and they come with it at once to make sure that you don't get to escape. So everything that has come up in the news pertaining to Israelites, they have that on record. All right, they have that on record. They've stored it, and at the right time, they're going to use it because it's all suits their propaganda. But the direction I want to take this lesson in is right here, 1 Corinthians 6:12. All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. So what does Paul mean when he says, but not all things are expedient? Let's look up that word expedient in here. A lot of Israelites need to go and read this verse and understand what it means. Okay. It says to help, to be profitable. Okay. And actually what I want to do is I also want to look I want to look it up in here. Now it says convenient and practical, although possibly improper or immoral, right? Which says here, convenient, advantageous. So what Paul is saying is not all things are convenient and practical. Okay, it's not wise to do something of that sort. Now in this article, right, which we're gonna read a bit of it, and when I was watching the video, I clicked on the article and I read it, and what caught my attention was a part in there where it says that she professed to be of the Hebrew Israelite faith. Okay, so it says here, DA Fort Bend County mother sentenced to 30 years for failing to protect 13-year-old child bride, quote unquote, of 47-year-old man. Now, here's the thing. Even going back to the ancient world, all right, the usual age, where they would like marry the daughters and so on and so forth after she had passed, the flower, right? After she started to get her cycle, you know, they would start to basically prepare her for that. All right. And that wasn't just something that was done in ancient Israel. This was even in Rome. All right. In the ancient world, that's how, for the most part, things were, especially also in the East. But over here in the West, in the modern world, things are not like that. There's a different mindset and so on and so forth. So we bring out certain information to inform you, all right, this is what how it was in the ancient world. This is how things were done. Like, even because you look, just be realistic for a second. Say Vocab Malone or some scoffer, somebody grabs this. You think they're just gonna say, all right, we're just gonna report on the story alone? No, they're gonna throw out GMS, right? They're gonna jump on Apostle Tahar, the elders. They're gonna say, "Oh yeah, see, look, it's all ties back in." You know what I mean? We've been telling you the Hebrew Israelites dangerous. You got this group over here that say that it's okay to grab up little girls and they'll slander, lie when that's not the case. Okay, because like I'm saying, in the ancient world, this is how things were done. Now, does that mean that today, while we are yet in our in our captivity today, right? While there are different laws and different standards of this society, while we are told to move wise as serpents and harmless as doves, does that mean you're going to say, all right, well, just because it was practiced in the ancient world, just because it's lawful, right? It's not against the law in the scriptures, I'm just going to go do it just because of that. Then that's the part where it's not expedient. When you see somebody, right, of the alternative lifestyle community, right, and the scriptures tell you what should be done to people of that community, it's lawful, but is it expedient? That's what Jake needs to understand. Is that expedient? Okay. Do you have to go and do that? No, because if you do that, your ass is under the jail. They're gonna pick up the jail, throw your ass in there with shackles, and drop that shit on you. Forget being in a freaking cell, being an inmate. You're gonna be an undermate. That's what's gonna happen. So this is something you have to actually think and use wisdom and say, I'm here in the land of my captivity. There are different laws in this land. We're not in rulership. We're not in authority. We're not in control. We're subject, right, to certain things. Now, it's one thing, to wake up to who you are and to learn, about the customs, all right, of Israel, learn about the ways in the scriptures, but wisdom. This is why the scriptures say, with all that get understanding, and this is why the scriptures constantly talk about what? Wisdom. All right? Because wisdom goes into how you apply that knowledge and understanding, how you move. And a lot of you Israelites gotta start actually using wisdom. Certain things you gotta think through. Is this actually gonna be, something in this society, is this something actually wise to do? Whether it's lawful or not, is it wise for me to do something like this? The scriptures talk about not giving up, basically, roughly paraphrasing, the appearance of evil, right? Not giving them any cause to speak reproachful, right? So let's read through this real quick. It says here, a mother will serve the next 3 decades of her life behind bars after failing to protect her daughter from sexual abuse. A jury has decided, and that's the thing. And like today, right? They'll call it sexual abuse. Today, if Abraham was here and he was on his way to do what the Lord told him to do, to sacrifice Isaac, what do you think they would call that? Right? Is that something that they would say is, oh, he was faith, right? Do you think they would have sounded like Paul in Hebrews the 11th chapter? Do you think they would have sounded like the men in the scriptures that spoke about Abraham in a good light, how he was faithful? No, they would have said, we just caught this man attempted murder. This man was about to endangerment. He was about to basically murder his son and call it a sacrifice to God, he said. That's what the headlines today would have said. So something that in the ancient world would have been, act of faith or something that would have been normal, today is not the case because we're not in our kingdom. All right. He shall seek to change times and laws and all of these things. We're subject to certain things. So like the thing says, things to do, you have to use wisdom in everything you do. Why do you think it is that we got to be incognito in this society? Because we're in this world, but not of this world. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So you got to use wisdom. There's certain things, even going back to the Roman Empire, right, that we were subject to, that we couldn't do. Why do you think Yahushua told Jake that agree with thine adversary quickly? When you read the the things that the Lord spake, right, to the multitudes of people, and you really put in perspective, you see, yo, hold on. The Lord wasn't saying just get up and do whatever you want, right? Oh, well, is it lawful to pay taxes? Should we pay taxes? And you listen to the way the Lord was giving them answers. He was basically saying, look, you just do what you got to do. Don't try to, take matters into your own hands when the Most High set it up one way. All right. But move with wisdom. So now, whenever you say something, you gotta literally break it down to an ABC level, or else you're gonna have Jake out there who's gonna hear it, like the elder Yashuamba did a video, all right, on not being a line in your own house, going into how just because you hear something doesn't mean it applies to you, right? Because now that's something that you can't just expect Jake to hear. You can't expect Jake to just listen and be mature in the mind enough to know, you know what, this is something that I should do. This is something I shouldn't do. Not like it's wrong, but is it wise to do something like that? Right? I'm listening to a video. It's going in on examples of women doing all this manner of crazy things. My woman ain't done nothing wrong, but just because I heard the video, you know, you a demon. I don't even know why I got with you. You know what I'm saying? Your food tastes good. You must be a demon. You an agent. You watch a video. It says there's agents among us. Everybody's an agent now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I gotta watch that, brother, man. I got. Hey man, this is something else. But anyway, Slakia. Right. So it says here, a mother will serve the next 3 decades of her life behind bars after failing to protect her daughter from sexual abuse. A jury has decided. On April 29th, a jury convicted Cherry Payton, of continuous sexual abuse of a young child and sentenced her to serve 30 years day for day in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Institution Division. When have we ever told you, hey, listen, go take your young 13-year-old daughter and go give them off to 40 something, 50 something year old men? According to, and like you like people, they'll call us names, but hold on, why aren't we in jail, right? If we're going around doing this shit, wouldn't we be behind bars? But it's an attempt to slander, right? To paint in a bad light. But you know what? It's a part of the, because look, you can already see what's coming with it. We can already see it. All right. It says according to prosecutors on June or in June 2017, the child victim went to the doctor and during the course of routine medical questioning disclosed that she was sexually active with quote unquote her husband, who she said was 47 years old at that time. Here's another example, right? When we know that ultimately what really bonds a man and a woman in terms of marriage is the act of sleeping together, right? That's not recognized right here in today's society. If you can't show certification, papers and whatnot, they don't consider that a valid marriage. So you got to keep that in mind, because are you now going to go beyond before the judge and say, well, according to what was it, was it Genesis, Leviticus, Genesis, oh yeah, Genesis, right? Okay, so when you read it, right, this is what Isaac did. He took Rebecca into the tent, and it says that he knew her and she became his wife. So right there. Now, it doesn't matter how many precepts you bring out or what points you make, they are not going to recognize that, because their laws and their society do not have that in it. When you go before a judge, they don't judge you according to the Bible. They judge you according to the laws they have written down. So in that you're in their realm, so to speak. Remember, we're in the world, but not of the world. So there's a difference between how we move, but yet there's still a limit in terms of what is expedient, what is wise to do. Because if you get caught up in this judicial system, whatever they call it, right? They don't regard the ways of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Now there was a video years ago of an individual in a car. Police came up to the car and said, "Get out the car." This guy tried to play tough and cause difficulty. I ain't getting out the car, yada yada. Yo, that cop got fed up. The door was open. He grabbed the Jake, pulled him out, slammed him on the back of the car, cuffing him. And now you hearing the Jake talking about Yahweh, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. And that's what he's screaming out there. Now, why didn't the Most High send Angel Gabriel down to do a roundhouse kick on the cop and say, "Hey, leave him alone. He's a servant of mine." Because the Lord gave you brains. Matthew 5:25. See, the way the Lord gave us a defense in this time is with what's up here. Okay, what's up in your dome? That the scripture's written, right? That is our defense in this part. Because if you don't follow the scriptures and apply wisdom, and you go and end up in some shit, lightning ain't gonna come down from heaven and strike down whoever it is that's there causing problems for you. Your defense is using the wisdom. All right, you know what? I may know what's right. I may know what the scriptures say. I may know all this, but I don't have the power to enact these things. So you know what? What do I have the power to do? Well, I have the power to stay out of trouble. I have the power to stay, under the radar and just do what I got to do, right? Because the script the scriptures don't say that you ain't gonna get delivered if you don't go and do some shit like this. you know I mean, it's not hard. But hey, let's keep going. It says here, she disclosed that she was sexually active with her quote unquote husband, who she said was 47 years old at that time. So you already know that whoever that doctor was, you know what I'm saying? Them eyebrows raised, excuse me. She thinking there's got to be a prank, right? What's going on here? Right now it says Peyton, the girl's mother, was present at the medical visit and claimed the child was married with her consent. It says here, when questioned about the offense, Payne explained that the marriage between the 13-year-old and a 47-year-old man was a normal part of her religious beliefs, right? Payton herself is 43 years old. After investigating, deputies arrested the husband, Stephen Carty, and charged him with aggravated sexual assault of a child. Now, I'm interested to see who this, because if if she mentioned that this was a normal part of her religious beliefs, it would stand to reason, right? I'm just speculating here that this Stephen Carty could be right of that same religious belief, which she's going to tell you what it is as we keep on reading. Okay, so that's interesting because now, of course, you know, when the Israelites, you don't really use your government name, right? Typically, you have like a Hebrew name or whatnot, right? So interesting to find out, well, who, you know what I'm saying, who is this guy? You know, is he somebody in some group, in some camp? What is he? Is he just somebody that just, you know, quote unquote believes he's an Israelite? What is it? Right? But anybody with wisdom, right, over here, man, and with wisdom, you say, look, nah, man, you know, why the hell would I do so? What sense does it make if I'm 47 years old to say, you know what, I'm gonna marry your 13-year-old daughter, right? I'm gonna pop her, and then if the cops find out, I'm gonna just tell them that I'm an Israelite, and according to my beliefs, I can do this. You know what the cop is gonna tell you? Oh, okay, okay. Well, guess what? According to the law, I'm gonna arrest you. That's what they're gonna tell you. And that's what you have to actually think about, you know, when you when you making your decisions in this society, man. You go to work, you got to eat in my boss. He tells you, yo, go, you know, do such and such, and you just slap him. You slap him, you kick him to the floor, and shut up. You under me. All right, you gonna be serving captivity under me anyway. You don't tell me what to do. What sense does that make? Because say you do something like that, who is going to be the one that ends up getting in a bad position for that? Do you think the Most High is going to come down at that point and deliver you? Hell no, because he gave you the brains, he gave you the directions on what you got to do. So it says here, and charge him with aggravated sexual assault of a child. You know, it says investigators looked into the Fort Bend County Clerk's office and did not find any records of a marriage license. See, like I was explaining, this society does not acknowledge that. They in this is in this society, they go based off of the actual license or certification or the paper, whatever it is. All right. It says the sheriff's office said it was not a legal marriage. It was not a legal marriage, but that Cardi and the teen considered themselves married based on religious beliefs. This is why we tell you this. Matter of fact, this is why the scripture, what's that? 1 Corinthians 6 and 12 says, "All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient." All right. In the ancient world, they wouldn't have arrested him for that, right? But also in the ancient world, we followed our laws and customs. But you're not in the ancient world right now. Neither are we in power. We are in the land of our captivity. We are captives under the captor, who's our oppressor, who's looking for any reason to keep us in a you know oppressed state. So is it wise, knowing that, to do something like this? No, it's not. Is it expedient? No, it's not. Okay. So I'm gonna read it again. All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. So let's go back. Let's read. It says, it was not a legal marriage, but that Cardi and the teen considered themselves married based on religious beliefs. Detectives said the family lived in Sugar Land area and are part of the Hebrew Israelites faith. Now, interesting. Let me type this in here. Sugar Land area. Sugar Land. All right. I feel like I've heard this somewhere before. I'm not too sure, but let's see. You have Sugar Land is a city just southwest of Houston, Texas. Mm, okay. Maybe I look more into that because the way I don't know, it's just the way it was written. They lived in the Sugar Land area. I don't know. But as you can see, it says, and are part of the, and now this is who? Detectives, right? Detectives. And it says here that they are part of the Hebrew Israelites faith. Now, what is the job of a detective? What do detectives do? They go into things, they look into things, they try to connect pieces. In their mind, their job doesn't stop at, okay, we arrested this guy. No, their mind is now, well, they said they're part of the Hebrew Israelite faith. So is this what Hebrew Israelites practice? Because in our society, this is a crime. So let's go and see, let's go do some digging and find out if this is what is being promoted or being taught or being pushed or practiced. And we may we may possibly have ourselves a case or something to go off of. Um, it says during Peyton's trial, evidence presented by Fort Bend County child abuse prosecutors revealed that the defendant allowed the child to live under purported covenant of marriage for nearly a year before it came to the attention of authorities. The jury also heard evidence that years earlier, Peyton had sexually abused the child herself. How the hell is that going to help your case? At that time, under the guise of a different religion. It is. It is now. It says, although a person must be 18 years of age to marry in Texas, there are exceptions that allow a minor who is at least 16 years of age to marry subject to certain conditions. The evidence showed that the child in this case was too young for the exceptions to apply. Now, I did a video. I'm gonna see if I could find it. I did a video maybe like a month or two back, going into, let's see, I think emotional, uh, emotional Israelites. Something along there we go. This is for all you emotional Israelites out there. Now, in this video, I went through an article. Pause it right here. I went through this article right here, which said we went into weddings and marriage traditions in ancient Israel. And when you actually go into this article, it covers, all of basically the things that we speak on, right? When the subject comes up via the scriptures, okay? And it goes into the age, all right, of marriage. What were the intricacies of it? How did it work? Okay, see if I can find it. All right, but it basically covered all of that, and I went into it as to this is what basically they this is how it was in ancient Israel. Okay, now does that mean that, oh yeah, oh shit, let me go do that, let me go grab me, you know what I'm saying? Let me go lay hold, right? Let me lay hold, take, and I'm gonna just try to find the father and give him 50 shekels. The cops are gonna come lay hold on you, and they're gonna throw you in behind bars. I'm trying to see. I know it's in here somewhere. And it went into, I believe, the age, right? Let's see. Well, I may not be able to find it right now, but if you watch the video, you'll see it. I'm sure some of you already saw it, but if you watch it, you'll see it. It goes into, the various, different ways of it, right? So that's in essence what we do, right? When we speak on these subjects, whether it's dealing with what would happen in a situation if a woman was raped, how would it go about? Because there are different circumstances, you know, and the scriptures tell you, okay, if this happened, because these are things that do happen, right? So if this happened, what is the way? How do you go about it? What do you do? Right? How do you go about it? And that's what the scriptures say, and that's what we basically explain and break down. But people get so emotional, no, 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 and then what happens is you have that telephone game, right? One person says, "Oh, did you hear that they saying yada yada?" And they're not accurately saying what we're saying. Somebody else hears it, they don't look into it. Somebody else hears it, they don't look into it. And next thing you know, they just go around saying things that are not true. All right, let's go back. So like I said, man,
Right.
actually there was one more precept I wanted to get. Appearance. Slocky, give me 1 second. Let me make sure this computer does not die on me. All right. So let's see. This is, yep, you got 1 Thessalonians 5:22. Abstain from all appearance of evil. There's one more. All right, well, I guess we'll just use this one, right? And this is why, when you think about it, right, it says abstain from all appearance of evil. Now, let's actually click on this word here, appearance. It says the external or outward appearance, form, figure, shape, form, kind, right? Literally or figuratively. So now, take this as an example, right? When somebody regular takes a look at this headline and they read this article, that's an appearance of evil to them, right? In their mind, you know what they're looking at? These are the terms that are coming up in their mind. Sexual abuse, all right? Continuous sexual abuse, young child. What else? What else are they seeing? Victim, okay? What else are they seeing? Religious beliefs. So there are certain keywords that aggravated sexual assault. You see that? These things in this society are an appearance of evil to them. Yeah, look, I'll give you an example. They call us a hate group. And we're teaching the word of the Most High, but they call us a hate group. Standing up for righteousness, they call it evil. They put light for darkness and darkness for light. Now, we're not going to stop teaching just because they say that, because this is what we have to do. But you don't have to go around and actually do something like this, because you got to use common sense. As a grown individual, you got to use what's up there, CS. And you got to say, you know what? This is not expedient. This ain't wise to do. And now guess what? You're probably in there. I don't know if you hoping the Most High gonna send an angel to come bust you out, like it's Peter or whatever. But that that's not the case. So I don't really have many other precepts, but I did want to go into that. Oh, look at that. Let me actually pull that up on here. This is measure the times 144, 1 Corinthians 7:36. Yeah, trigger words, because that's what they do. They play on the what do you call that? The pathos. All right, pathos, which is the emotions. Look, in this society, when you hear children and you hear like danger or harm, or you hear women, or you hear, that there's certain people or age groups or genders that when you throw out there, depending on what you say, can really trigger people. All right, that's how they built society. Now, 1 Corinthians 7:36, but if any man think that he behaveth himself uncomely toward his virgin, if she passed the flower of her age. What is the flower of her age? The flower of her age is after she starts to have her, her cycle. That's when, she starts to develop, her body starts to develop, and so on and so forth. It says, and need so require, let him do what he will, he sinneth not, let them marry. Right? So that the age, according to Paul, 1 Corinthians 7:36, is after she passes the flower of her age. Right? So, sometimes it's 13, sometimes it's 14, sometimes it's 12, but are you going to go to the court and pull out 1 Corinthians 7:36? Is the court gonna, the judge gonna look at, oh shit, damn, that's deep. Yeah, let him off. Let him off. He's good. They're not gonna do that. Okay? They're not gonna do that. So in this society, man, always remember one thing, like we read earlier in 1 Corinthians 6:12, that all things are lawful for me, but not all things are expedient, and not all things edify. All right. So the scriptures tell you to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. It tells you to be circumspect, redeeming the times, for the days are evil. It tells you that we are sheep amongst wolves. A sheep's power amongst wolves is not brute force. All right. And it's damn sure not ignorance. You have to be able to outsmart. You have to be able to, move, all right, without being detected, because you're already a target. And this is something that Israelites need to understand, man. You're thinking like children. You're moving like children. You're not thinking of consequences. You're not properly applying the scriptures. And then you go out there and end up in these situations, and then they paint with a broad brush. Okay? They paint with a broad brush. When you read the article, right, and you scroll down, what do they say here? The Hebrew Israelites' faith, right? But when you actually, they're not going to go to the core of it. They're just going to paint it just like that. So whether you say, look, we don't teach that you should go and do that and yada yada, yada, you guys are Hebrews, I know about y'all. See? But you know what? At the end of the day, it's a part of it's a part of the walk, and it's a part of the journey, man. It's why. Guess what? The Revelation, I believe it's 11 or so. The scriptures talk about that the Lord should just give rewards to his servants, the prophets, and them that fear him. Because it's nothing new, but it is a part of what we're gonna have to go through. So I mean, prepare your minds, man, because when they, whatever they come with, they're not gonna hold back. And use wisdom in your day-to-day life. All right, use and apply wisdom. If you want to learn, the scriptures say, "Pray to the Most High, who giveth it liberally." Right? If you want wisdom, read the scriptures, man. Read the Apocrypha. Read Ecclesiasticus. Read Proverbs. Read Wisdom of Solomon. Read Ecclesiastes. Read the scriptures, man. And stop being children in understanding. All right. But with that, Lord willing, you were edified. We're gonna see what else comes of this. But just keep on pushing. Pray for fewer days. Lord willing, we get out of here. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.